All right, so for today's video, I want to talk about the Deluxe Walking Foot with 3 soles from Babylock. So that's this guy right here. There we go, Deluxe Walking Foot with 3 soles. So we have the standard sole, which looks like this. And then we have the open toe sole, which looks like this. So if I compare the two here, so you see the difference is right in the center right here. It's closed on this one and it is open on this one. And then lastly, we have the stitch in the ditch foot attachment, which is the one that we're going to talk about for today. So I'm going to zoom in there and you can get a real good look at that. So this is the stitch in the ditch part, and you can see the little guide in the middle there. And what this is going to allow you to do is, of course, stitch in the ditch, just like it says. So I have some fabric here, and I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can see. And, you know, we're just going to do a little bit of quilting. This is just a simple block. It's obviously not a giant quilt, but when we're considering quilting, what we want to do in this instance is we want to try to make our quilting look as least obvious as we can. So our goal for this is that we can stitch as close to the ditch part of this quilt as possible without sort of falling in or out. And that's what this little guide is going to help us. So I'm going to put my foot down, get myself situated there, and you can see that the guide is butted up against the fabric here. So we've got it right up against the line here. I've got myself set up on a straight stitch. I've increased my stitch length to about 3.0 just because I like it to be a little bit longer, and I have some regular cotton thread. Now, I didn't do anything. I didn't move the needle position. I'm right in the center needle position. And we have our little ditch quilting here. So it did a nice job of helping us keep nice and straight. So that's the definition of what the foot does. But the edge guide or the ditch guide here can be used for a variety of different things. It can help you join two pieces of something together because you can ride something on either side of this. It can allow you to top stitch, so or edge stitch, sometimes called. So if I've got the fabric right up against this line again, put my foot down, my needle position over here, and let's say I want to just edge stitch right along this little guy right here. So what I'm going to do in this instance is I'm going to move my needle position a little bit to the left. Just a little bit there, and just take a few stitches. So you can see you've got really nice edges along there. It's nice and even. Perfect. So bags, handles, binding. If you wanted to use this to top stitch around your binding. So I know this is batting, but if this were my binding and I wanted to stitch along that edge, I would just move my needle position the opposite direction this just along that edge. And I could top stitch that binding piece down. So that's another great use for this particular style of foot. So we can do joining, we can do edge stitching, and we can do stitch in the ditch, all with this really fancy foot. So the walking foot is designed to be used when you have multiple layers of material. It'll keep the layers from shifting. You wouldn't necessarily use the walking foot if you were just edge stitching on a single piece of material, but definitely when you have bulk, or when you have batting, or if you have slippery fabrics, that's another great time to use that. So once again, this is the stitch in the ditch option for the Babylock Deluxe Walking Foot with the 3 soles. And this is one of my favorite soles. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.